What up, my folks? I'm coming to talk about Night 141 WrestleMania. I personally liked it. I know there's a lot of controversy going on back and forth. Let me not eat this while I'm having my conversation. I know there's a lot of talks about the backlash of Jey Uso winning the title. So we're gonna just start right there. Match one. I personally enjoyed Jey winning the title. I mean, my expectations were in check in terms of that I think he was going to have a Mr. Perfect type match or a hitman type match. I didn't expect Jey Uso to go out there and have the most awesome in-ring performance I've ever seen in my life. But I did think that he there was no botches. He dove inside of Gunther's bag, pulled out some of his moves on him, and overall the story that I felt off of that was one of triumph, one of David versus Goliath. Spider-Man takes down the big bad, where he's seemingly overmatched, but just by sheer will and passion he overcomes. And I also like the tap. I didn't see it coming, but I like the tap from Gunther because just like when he was about to take his title and just leave, and then he ended up hitting him. It adds to the fire of having to overcome, but it showed Gunther getting frustrated more so than he was just physically outmatched. He was annoyed. He was bothered, and he was mentally broken to the point where he quit. I quit. Because Jay was gonna die out there if need be. That's the story that I'm getting. Like, he hit him with the power bomb. He was choking him out. He was chopping him to death. The dinosaur drop kicks, and Jay was not going to go anywhere. You would have had to kill Jay that night, and Gunther just he didn't want to go any further. He was tired of it. We got splash, 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 super kick, like spear, power bombed him. He put him like he went off. It's like he had six finishers stored up and just start dropping them. Bow, 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 and he just started hitting them with them. And Gunther just was tired of it. Like the big bully, I'm beating people and sending them to the hospital, leaving them a bloody pulp, and now I'm pushed to the point where I'm tired of it. You got it. Stop. I'm over it. You win. And to make the bully have to cower home with his tail tucked. I thought it was great storytelling. That's a classic trope. I don't think that was something of like, why did this happen? I thought that was a classic trope. Like, that's exactly what was billed because come on, man. A lot of people say predictable because we know Jay was gonna win that. He lost 3 times to Gunther. He lost 6 times consecutively. He's never won a title. Never won a world title. He's never beat Gunther. So that was the moment where even the promo before the match was a phenomenal promo because Jay kind of staggers. And sometimes he don't always get there. But he kind of he's not very curated. It's like they kind of give him freedom to just to have at it. Like, that's his thing. He can just conjure stuff. Just like the Yeet thing got over naturally, organically at the presser with Cody. He just like, Yeet. He wasn't even really saying Yeet all the way like the way he does now. Like, he was just like, Yeet. Like, you heard me, yerp. Like, he was just a vibe. And it kind of cut him some room. And I always don't get there. But you can hear the passion behind his voice. And you can, that night, it got there. He was serious. He was like the Yeet man not coming. Yeah, he did a little something before the match when he was coming down, but he was in his like, come on, I'm hyping people up. And I also like that he didn't do it after the match. He's selling that I've just been in a war. I just went somewhere I never went before and done something I've never done before. And let me get my title. Let me go back. Let me soak this up. I don't have the energy to just be parading around here like nothing just happened. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the perfect touch about how that came. Jimmy came out, and that was an emotional moment. Jimbo could have maybe been in his attire. I mean, I guess if he was just sitting ringside, he might have had the ringside with the hoodie on, and nobody really, only the people that was really close to him was like, oh man, look, that's Jimmy, you know, and he just been sitting out there in full gear. It would have been like, why is Jimmy sitting there? So maybe that, excuse me, so maybe that. But I see Jay talk about that too. It's like, why you with that faded old Nike Tech? But I enjoyed it. That was more than a Raw match. That wasn't the WrestleMania moment like a Daniel, but that was PLE worthy. That was WrestleMania worthy. That was a good match. Then it went on to New Day and the War Raiders, and nobody asked for this. That's where this match had the biggest mountain to climb, is that nobody was licking their chops to see the New Day versus the War Raiders. They had everybody up like mad with the New Day. There was like Dom Mysterio levels of heat, but they didn't put him on TV for a month or two. Like they had him come out there and like so that heat died off. I think if they would have came in as the champions and just defended it, I think they would have had more heat if they would have like struck on that while the iron was hot. They kind of let the iron cool. But you know, it was a solid match. The New Day are one of the greatest tag teams. If you're just looking at the accomplishments, they are the greatest tag team of all times. And they did tag team work. They isolated the opponent into their corner, cut off the ring, double teamed them, attacked the necks. They both had neck surgeries and they attacked the necks. Uh, Kofi held the foot down for the pinfall. You know, that was a classic tag team match. You know, so nothing was wrong with the match. You know, Eric had the opportunity. He elbowed Xavier out the sky. Ivar did his somersault backflip maneuver. Xavier off the top with the elbow. It was moments. It was not a bad match. It, there was just challenged with, we don't want this. Like that's what they was challenged with. Like, why are the War Raiders here of all people? Like that was the challenge in that. But I think it was the absolute right decision having New Day walk out as the champions, because now I think New Day has more runway to get under people's skin, to showcase that they're the greatest tag team of all times. Like, to get to talk they trash, because that element, Xavier and Kofi, their chemistry, how that element, they're in a elite space and being able to just conduct their business, to be able to speak on it. So I think that was the absolute right decision. Overall, a good match, clean, solid match. It's just that nobody asked for it. But you can look at any WrestleMania in history, and there's always a match or two that's like, what is that? That's a Mania match? And Jade and Naomi, another match that was a good match. And I really like this for both women, because Naomi, like she said, she's been 16 years trying to have a moment where she can come into a Mania, and she's got this storyline, her characters, but when she's just not the glow girl, she's not the cheerleader, she's not the dancer, she's just gonna come out there and do some obligatory work and leave. But she had the chance to be a center piece of a storyline and to get a character off, and that was big for Naomi. She had a really good match. And what was big for Jade is that she had a really good match, because Jade could be stiff, she could be choreographed, she could be, you see her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like you see her wheels spinning in that way of trying to do the thing right, not botch, not miss the cue, not like, and that kind of had a flow to it. You didn't have that feel of, why is she here? Oh, you know why because she's a damn physical specimen. So yeah, we're gonna marvel over that. But when it's time for her to start moving around, it's clunky. That was smooth. And then the Mania in front of the big crowd, the one on one, you didn't have nobody to tag, to stand on the ropes. It was nobody, no interference, just a one on one to get in the middle and to give a quality match, smooth match. I think that was a big thumbs up for Jade. That was a step in the right direction because she's a star in her person, and the world want her to go. The industry want her to go and to go down as one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all times. The only thing can hold her back is her in-ring ability. And to see her be able to pull off a quality one-on-one match in a WrestleMania says a lot to where she's attempting to get. Quality match when she had the flip off the shoulder into the power bomb thing, that was crazy. Now there's some wrestling buffs out there that have seen a lot more wrestling than me that may have seen something like that, but that was amazing when she caught her off the ropes into the super. Like I've never seen this stuff. And Naomi not a little girl. Like she not like she caught Kyrie Sane not the she flipped Alexa Bliss in the sky. Naomi got junk in the trunk. Like that's a grown woman to be plucking her out of the sky like that. To just be flipping her in the air like that. Like that was impressive. That was the moment. You know, that's what WrestleMania is all about. The wow, the spectacle. Did you see that? Can you believe this? They delivered. They delivered. That was quality. That was Mania worthy. And then you went into Jacob and Knight, and Jacob and Knight, we knew that was gonna be good because that's two of the best in the business. Jacob upstart showcasing that he's here to stay. He gets the people going. He puts on. He does things that make you go, "Ooh, I can't believe a man's doing that." And LA Knight's over. LA Knight, yeah, they heard the whole arena. People talk about maybe the arena wasn't as loud as it could have been. It wasn't as rabid as they could have been. But certain moments felt like everybody was out there in participation, and that was one of the moments. You know, LA is one of those guys, and they just went out there and had a quality match. Now again, we go to the level of predictability because going back to the last match, of course Jade won. Like they're pushing Jade to be the arguably the greatest of all times at some point. So yeah, while it would have been cool for Naomi to get the W because maybe she could have launched further. Whereas Jade didn't really need a win to be Jade, but same thing in this situation. Neither man really needed the win, and we kind of got the predictable. Of course, Jacob wins because Jacob's hot, you know. So of course Jacob wins, right? But absolutely the right decision to me in all of these matches so far, including this one, the blunt force trauma reversal off the flip, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? So like they did their thing. They had a quality match. Was it the most outstanding match you're ever gonna see in your life? No. But was it a bad match? Far from it. This was a like if you like these guys, you like this is what you wanted. You wanted them to go out there and put on a good show, and they went out there and they put on a good show. Then I think my favorite match. It's hard to stop the. It's hard to knock the main event because what that was the most spectacle of it all, the most story driven, you know, the most legacy and tradition on the line. But in terms of just having me ooh and ah over the match, Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix. That's the one that had me like ooh, oh, and that's when you watch enough of this that like you expect it, like you know it's scripted, it's choreographed, you know it's not like so if to still get audible ooh out of you as a somebody who actually participates in watching this stuff regularly, it's hard. It's hard to do. Because we seen the chops, we seen the drop kicks, we seen the backflips, we seen the dives, we've seen the power arms, we've seen this stuff. So when you get those moments and it's still ooh, like that speaks to the level of a performance, and I want to say that was the best wrestling. of the night. The flip that Americano did was just like, man, what is that? That what? What did I just see? I need to see that slow down. I don't even know what I just seen. Ray running on the ropes, clap, the kick, the way he sells up with the putting the metal behind the mask, and that was quality wrestling. That's something that you could have seen in the '90s, and was like, that's, I'm talking early '90s. Like, that's something that's like, this is quality wrestling in a traditional sense. I think that was my favorite match. That was a standout, and I like what they're doing with the luchas, and I like how they mix Chad into that, and Chad's a phenom, man. The physical ability that the specimen that he looks like, and then the ability that he brings to be able to flip, dive, lift, throw, carry, sell. Like, he got everything, submissions, reversals, everything. He know how to tell a story, get a character off. He know how to excite the crowd, everything. And we for a long time wanted Chad to get off, and they found something for him. They found something for him, and I'm really happy with that. They got the Lucha promotion, and they're gonna be pushing heavier into that, which is why I say maybe Penta gets a W. Maybe when that happens, they have Penta as a champion at that particular time. But I think it's really good for the business overall, for the E overall, to have the Luchas out there looking like serious players on a big stage. And then we move over to, which was another one of the best matches, Tiffany versus Charlotte. And I think people coming into it who have patience with wrestling and like know wrestling knew that Charlotte and Tiffany was going to be a really good match. Charlotte was going to basically stamp her, whether she won or lost. Tiffany was going to walk out of this stamped with a big time Mania match, and like, oh, she's a serious player. She's for real, and it delivered. It was nice and long, but it wasn't boring. You had the moments that looked like one would win and then the other would win, because coming into it, this was the match out of everything on the card that was like, I don't know. I could see this one going either way. The others, like I said, was more predictable. Yeah, that, of course, Americano wins. Yeah. Like, all the other ones was like, I thought it was the right decisions. This was the one where I was like 50-50. Or maybe 60-40, 70-30. I felt like Tiffany would win, but I mean, that's Charlotte. I wanted Charlotte to win, but I know I was like, I'm not so frustrated with Charlotte that, oh, she comes back, she wins a championship. That doesn't bother me, because she's in ring elite, on the mic elite, eliciting response from the crowd elite, physical shape that she's gonna bring elite. She's quite possible. She's the greatest. Like, I mean, is she not? She was the one who was at the helm when that generation of women was putting women's wrestling into relevancy, where we could have multiple women matches on the card, where we can sit down and it's not the bathroom break. We got opinion. We mad. We booing. She that. You know what I'm saying? And they gave a quality match. It was targeted to the knees. There was legitimate shots. Tiff came out there looking like she was a Street Fighter character. At the end of that, boy, when and after they got a whooping, when they about to pass out, they like continue, and then you hit the button, and then but they still beat up. She looked like a Street Fighter character. All her teeth was messed up, bleeding from the mouth, scuff on her head, and she kept on trucking. That was a great look for her. She kept on trucking, and Charlotte did business. So you can never say, oh, she didn't put nobody over. She did business. They had an amazing match. That I'm looking forward to the carryover, because I still want to see Charlotte win championships. Like, I'm not like, get to the new generation. Nah, Charlotte still got it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very interested to see the fallout behind that. And then you go to the main event: Rollins, Punk, Reigns, Paul Heyman in the mix. This match was never gonna be bad. There was no way, and there was no way this match could be bad. Some people thought that Rumble winner should have got main event, but it's just no way this was gonna be followed. You had to put this last. You know what I'm saying? And it delivered. You had fighting into the crowd, weapons being used, finishes being hit, finishes being stolen, all guys laid out. This guy looked like he's gonna get pinned. This guy looked like he's gonna win. They had all the hype. Set start. Come on, Roman. Let's get on the same page and get him out of here. Then we can go do our thing. And Roman like, nah, I got this myself. Go through the reinforced announce tables, both the one for each. Bow, bow. Heyman turned on Punk when it looked like he was gonna turn on Roman. Heyman turns on Roman when he looks like he just had it all set up. Seth walks away with a new energy, and he deserves it. He needed it, and he deserved it because he was the one doing the heavy lifting and carrying this the build up to this match. He was the one who had 2 matches on a bum knee last year to help the thing go on smoothly. He the one who always eating pins. He the guy who's been a workhorse guy when these guys are nursing injuries, resting, they at home on vacation, setting that thing getting busy. You know, so from that perspective, the portion of us who that's what we value the most, we set guys. You know, he won for the workhorse, the constantly there, the in ring ability, you know, the passion for the bit. Like he won for that layer of the base of the fan base. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people like that because to have set and nobody got really booed in this. Like you had your CM Punk, OTC, ooh like this was a match where people just showed up and enjoyed everybody, or the whole feud. They just showed up and enjoyed everybody. But for Seth to be able to walk away from a downed Punk and Roman, and people still singing his song and cheering him on, that's major for Seth. Seth is officially where he's supposed to be. You know, because it was kind of last year when he was with up there against Rock and all the, but it was looking like he may be just a B plus. Like he right up there. He close, but he ain't Cody Rhodes. He ain't CM Punk. He ain't Roman Reigns. He ain't that. And so for him to be able to walk out of there and it's like, oh yeah, he that. Big time for Seth. Perfect booking. And go back to the predictability because they teased it and a lot of people was expecting Seth to walk out of there with Heyman, but the people who ain't really tapped in like that, or the people who may be a little bit more naive, the people they didn't see that coming, you know. So that was the Mania pop. That was the spectacle. That was the can you believe it? Oh my God, what's gonna happen on Raw? Like that was the moment of the show. Because the rest of the show kind of had more so just good match. Yeah, good match. That was a moment that was like, we got to see the fallout. That was serious. And, you know, with that being said, I thought it was a perfect night one, but a safe night one. Everything went as predicted. You know what I mean? Nothing flew off the handle. Jay and Gunther, yeah, people gonna talk about that because they got a section of the base that just don't want Jay to do it. They just never wanted Gunther to lose. They want this guy to hold the titles for a million years at a time. Like they don't want Gunther to lose. That they don't view Jay as a wrestling guy. Don't get me wrong, that Uso match in 40 was pretty trash. But Jay has been solid. Jay been super solid. Jay has given some really good matches, some emotionally charged matches. Like when he won the IC title stuff, Jay's been doing pretty damn good. And I think that's not really organic to me. That's just like the Boo Birds gonna come out. Yeah, they're gonna come out and they're gonna bomb. They're gonna dislike bomb the videos and stuff. Yeah, 60,000 strong and 95, 99% of everybody in there eating their faces off. So, yeah. We see the people wearing the merch. Oh, it's for the kids. We see them grown people up in there wearing that merchandise, eating, and we see it. So I think overall, it was just real safe. Everybody got what they came for the most part. And now I think night two is gonna be when the controversy begins. That's gonna be when I ain't want Io to win. I ain't want Rhea to win. I ain't want Bianca to win. Knock my candy over. That's gonna be when I didn't want this particular thing. I didn't want Cena to win. I didn't want Rose to win. I don't like how they did it with Logan Paul versus AJ. Oh man, why they let Logan beat AJ? Oh, Randy should have never got that opponent. That was anticlimactic. Oh, why is Lyra a double champion? Da, da, da. I think this is night two is going to be when people are upset. Dom should never win a title. How did he ever beat Braun Breaker? And I think night two is when people are going to have a lot to talk about. Night one was safe. Night two is going to be problematic. But if I had to give it a score, I had to give it a ranking, I had to give it a grade. Night one, it's tough because if A is last year's Mania, night two, if that's my A, let's say A plus. Let's say A plus. So they give me a little bit more wiggle room. Night one Mania 41 can't be an A. It was safe. It was good, but it wasn't a whole lot of wow. Like we got to talk about this WTF OMG moments. Like it wasn't a lot of that. So I give it a solid B plus. Solid B plus because it was really good. It was a good card. It was good matches. It was smooth. It was clean. It was, in my opinion, the right outcomes. But it lacked a little bit of that spectacle of Mania. And following last year, it's gonna be tough. Even on night two, when they got a little bit more of the heat, it's just gonna be tough to top last year. So I think overall, job well done. They hit the mark. I'm not upset at all. I'm excited. Give it a solid B plus. Now I've already seen a bevy of opinions, but if whoever watched this and wanted to give their opinion, if you made it all the way through, I appreciate you for listening to my yap, being a part of the conversation with me. I'm interested in seeing why you didn't think it was as good or why you thought it was better. You dig what I'm saying? But I got plenty more to talk about. I'll dive probably a little deeper into the J space, and I'll be looking to recap night two as well. Until the next time, my folks, love y'all, man. Be your best version. Don't slack out here in this world. You could become. You could be the greatest of all time. You could break Ric Flair's record or whatever you do, whatever your space is. You could be the champion of champions. Like, you could really do it. Do it.